Got it.
When you hear the sound of the bell, you know you in the championship rounds, and I'm here with a special guest. This is a gentleman that I met through the TBV community. I like to consider him a friend and brother. Um, we actually got the same birthday, so Leo's is definitely interesting characters. This man has a lot of character in the boxing community outside as well as a father. I want to introduce to you guys Coach JT Macon. We call him Coach J Mac, ladies and gentlemen. How you doing, brother?
What's up? What's up? Yeah,
You like the intro?
yeah, I like the intro, but you got me mixed up with J Mac, my brother, man.
Ah,
Uh,
damn it. See, but that's part
yeah,
of it. So
yeah.
I apologize.
Nah, it's cool. It's cool. Shout out to my brother J Mac. We twins, so I think that's where you got it mixed up at. I'm always gonna be Coach JT. That's gonna be J Mac. So yeah, but based on what he was talking about, yeah, we had the same birthday. We Leos. Leos are they lions, man. They're aggressive. So I think we probably share some of them saying similar traits and all that. But what's going on, King Amin?
Not much, man. I got you here, and I titled this one Line It Up because what I've come to learn about this boxing thing, and I'm sure you can tell us a little bit more later as far as your background. If you trying to get sparring, you trying to chase an opportunity, sometimes you ain't got time to prepare as much as you'd like to, right? So you just got to just get in there and line it up. So, I've been trying to get this one. I really value your opinion and your mind as far as boxing. So when the opportunity came, I wasn't quite as prepared as I usually am, but I said, if I need to work, if I want to get better, if I want to grow, I got to line it up. So here we are. And I just want you to share a little bit about your background as far as either how boxing found you or you found boxing.
Uh, okay. You want me to ask about the sparring or the other question you just had?
All aspects, just boxing,
Okay.
period.
Right.
Being ready.
Well, boxing found me because I'm from New Orleans and I grew up fighting a lot. So fighting came second nature to me. And when I started boxing, I think I started boxing maybe at 18, 19. And I picked it up real quick. It was like second nature to me. It was a difference. It's a difference in street fighting and in boxing. But like I said, I always been a fighter growing up. So boxing was second nature to me. Like to me, I played a lot of football growing up, but boxing came to me more natural than football did. And I was good in football, but I just felt like without all the distractions I had, I'd have been a better professional fighter than football player, of course.
Now let me ask you this. Did it take a certain level of apprehension or even we'll use the word a little fear or worry when you turned over to boxing because maybe you was new to it? Was it a shock or anything new when you first jumped into it?
It was it was a shock because like the thing about it, when you grew up fighting, 9 times out of 10, you had something like you had a problem with somebody, so you kind of went off of anger. But the thing about boxing is it's more mental because 9 times out of 10, you don't really be having problems with some of these guys, that you looking at across the ring. You just in there trying to compete against this person. So it's not really no hard feelings unless it's tied up to another gym or you sparred this person. It could get personal like that, and that helps off the motivation to build up some kind of animosity to this person, right? But it's more mental, like, because sometimes you're going to fight people depending on what level, even at the pros or the amateurs. Same thing, well, as my sons or when I did, I fought a lot of people that I didn't much know. So you just had to go in the mentality, like, this person did you wrong or anything. You try to put that in your mind to build some kind of case so you can start putting some hands on this person,
So
basically.
is there such a thing, or can you be like a nice fighter? Can you be like a good guy, a nice guy, and still be a fighter?
You can, but you in the ring, you got to be mean. Like you got to click on. You got to have a different mindset. I don't think you got to be a nice fighter in the ring. You got to be a nice guy outside the ring. You can be good. That's good. Shows good sportsmanship. But inside the ring, you gotta be a dog. You gotta go to another level with it.
So speaking of, you mentioned the boys. Let's talk about the pups for a minute because you've been, besides, your own experiences, now you want to get the coaching aspect. You got the gym going, Macon Boxing. Tell us more about that.
I heard you say something about sparring and all that.
Mm-hmm.
This is my method with my sons. My son's always in shape, so we don't have to get back in shape. Unless they go on a summer vacation with they go by my son go by his mom, my other sons go by their grandparents. I gotta move them back in shape, but that'd be like 2 weeks, 3 weeks at the most. But all the year round, my sons fight. They walk around the weight that they fight at,
Mm.
and I just keep them in shape so we don't never have to get ready. So like when nationals come around, some people be training for that. We already be trained, just trying to get better, get more experience. So condition never be a problem with my boys because they always in shape to go anywhere. So because sometimes tournaments, you could try to find a tournament every week somewhere if you wanted to travel like that. So like that's one thing my method is they go stay in shape. It's only 3 rounds. So they fight a minute and a half. So minute and a half, 2 minutes, whatever. So they're gonna stay in shape basically for a fight. They're gonna always be fight ready.
Definitely, definitely. And stay ready. You keep them ready at this age, all those good habits and experience they gain. And by the time, both in and out of the ring, we know that we shaping some great young men with this boxing thing, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. And also like with school, like home a lot of people homeschool. I didn't get to that point yet. I don't think they homeschool will be an option for us. I like the fact that they go to school and still have another life besides boxing.
A balance.
Yes.
Definitely, definitely. Well, let's talk about some young guys. These guys ain't pups no more, man. And I think there's been questions about what they've been doing as far as staying ready, but the fight has been signed. It's at a catch weight. I'm talking about Gervonta Tank Davis, Ryan King Rye Garcia. This is it. Now, mind you, we're gonna talk about it a little later if we got enough time, but this is the fight that's been made. What are your thoughts?
Uh, I'm not. See, my thing about the catch weight, honestly, I don't. I'm not trying to be biased because I heard a lot of people been calling in on another show, the Boxing Boys. They're basically saying like Gervonta is taking advantage. He has advantage, but a lot of fighters with the A side been doing that lately. So I mean, AKA Canelo. So they might sit there and say Canelo hasn't done, or no fighter hasn't done a weight class and then a rehydration weight in the same fight. But I look at it like this: Ryan saw all those stipulations in the contract before he accepted the fight.
Mm-hmm.
When he said that at the press conference, he didn't have to say that. I just think he brought that up for excuse when he lose or if he lose. I think he's gonna lose, honestly. Um, Actually, I think it's gonna be a good fight to Tank catch him. I'm just being honest. I think Ryan might be up on the scorecard, but I just think Tank is gonna settle down and eventually catch Ryan. He got a lot of loose holes in his arsenal to me because he throws a lot of fast punches. I don't think his defense is super tight, so that's why I think Tank will eventually catch Ryan.
Yeah.
But to say this, if Ryan had a problem with that, I don't think he should have mentioned that because we know we learning this A side is really is big in boxing. Sometimes it stops fights from making fights because of the A side or the rules they have, or they can't agree on the purse or the promotion, whatever it's got going on. A side is real in boxing. That's what we came to accept. Because
Mm-hmm.
it took me a while to accept that. Because Canelo was doing it for years. He had catch weights. He had rehydration fights. Parts in his contract. And honestly, um, everybody never complained about Canelo doing. They just kept saying he's Canelo. He's Canelo. I guess Canelo could do what he want. He's above boxing. I disagree with that. So now you got Gervonta Davis, a young black talent to the sport, that's doing this thing. When he step in the ring, now y'all making it a big deal.
Yeah, I think you're right. I'm going back. I think it's a certain type or certain group of people that might think that Tank is taking advantage more so than something you mentioned. And I think that shows understanding and maturity of the sport. The A side thing, it's like a guy still thinking street fight is boxing. If you still thinking that fights can just get made because we out here on the streets, I'm on my little platform pounding my fists about a fight. That is not what's happening. There's a certain nuance to the business of boxing. And so things like catch weights, hydration clauses, I mean, even I think it's the IBF, they have a standard hydration clause where the fighter can't hydrate. So, I mean, this is a thing that happens, but conveniently people like to put it on a certain fighter because they are a fan of the fighters and not understanding the sport. At least that's my little opinion.
And that's another thing, because I guess A stands for advantage, right? So when you're the A side, you got the advantage. That's basically what it is. You're the A side, advantage. So the thing about this sport is when you seek opportunities like that and you trying to become the A side fighter, you have to accept all those terms, and you might be at a disadvantage, but you have to be ready to be at that disadvantage to take those fights to overturn it. And then when you beat the guy, I guess you become the A side. I don't agree about the A side. I think a fight should be a fair fight, but boxing is big on disadvantages at every level. The amateurs, the pros, the lower pros, the high pros, the championship pros is a disadvantage because a lot of guys do weight like that. Even in amateurs, they come down on weight because they feel like they're going to be the bigger fighter. Vice versa. Or they go down in weight because they're younger. I mean, they're older than the younger kids, so they're going to take the advantage. So boxing always have a disadvantage in it. It's like you just got to be ready to accept. If you take a fight, you have to be ready to accept whatever disadvantage they have, whatever advantage or whatever disadvantage you have in that fight.
Absolutely. I totally agree. And let's talk about a fight that I think I'm not sure who the A side is or who has the advantage. Stephen Fulton, I don't want to screw up his first name, but everybody calls him the Monster Inoue. This fight is happening in April. Two of the smaller guys. Inoue's moving up from 118 to 122 to fight Fulton. You aware of this one? What do you think about it? Give me your thoughts, champ.
I'm aware of that fight. I got Fulton winning. Inoue is a good fight. It's a 50-50 fight because both fighters can win based off of what I've seen. But I'm pulling for Fulton to win that fight. I just think Fulton got the rhythm. He gonna have the style to disrupt Inoue from doing certain things that he does in there. So I got Fulton winning that fight. It's a real good fight. It's like I say, this 50-50 is not no it's not no disadvantage. I don't know nothing about no weight disadvantage in that fight.
But nobody's complaining.
Isn't Fulton fighting in Inoue town? I mean, area though?
Yep,
country?
Fighting in Japan. Again, you talk about where's the advantage? Is the advantage in, Inoue's moving up, or is it, he's coming to my home fighting at a different hour of the day just to be on TV and all those little changes?
That's supposed to be the disadvantage. So if you got to look at everything, Inoue looking at it like he's coming to my town, he's coming to my country to fight. Like we on different time zones. So Inoue is moving up to take this fight, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that might be the disadvantage. That might be the advantage for Fulton. He might be the bigger man, but I still feel like Inoue, the skills and the style he has, it's not going to be to a point where it's going to be a big landslide disadvantage for Fulton because he has boxing ability. But the big disadvantage to that fight is that Fulton is fighting in Inoue country.
Yeah. And I see Fulton, a lot of catching and countering. I see Inoue trying to start off a little slow, trying to get Fulton to pick up the volume, Fulton to bait him in with some feints. Inoue start picking up the volume and catching and countering all night, and the cleaner punches will be landed by Fulton, and he cruises to a unanimous decision. Something about my vision sees that. I could be wrong, man, but I hope I'm right about that one.
I see that. I see that as well too. Like you say, Fulton catching and countering, got the slick black style. The draw Inoue off. Inoue will probably start his rhythm, and might get frustrated if Fulton keeps trying to set traps, meaning like letting him draw, letting Inoue baiting Inoue in the fight at certain times, and he's countering him. So Anyway, is going to have to set the tone to make it a fight if he wanted to go his way. But I think Fulton going to be a little slick and smart in the ring, and go keep him disciplined. Like long as he stay disciplined, keep Inoue disciplined. I think it's gonna start off slow, like you say, because of the styles. Because they gonna have respect for each other. But I just think both of them will be trying to set traps
Definitely.
on their fight styles.
That's going to be a very entertaining fight, man. And a lot of this we talking about, not to make it about sides, if you will, but this is some good Showtime action. A lot of this action will be legitimate Showtime, a lot of firefights. But one fighter on Showtime, I don't know if he's ready for Showtime. Ain't been ready in quite a while. I'm talking about a fellow twin. And maybe you could give us some insight as a fellow twin. I'm talking about Jermall Charlo, the middleweight champion. There's been some speculation as to whether or not he's coming back against Adames, because Carlos Adames, Dominican fighter, somewhere towards the end of this year. But my question would be, who does he fight before that fight? And before I let you go, champ, there has been some speculation that maybe he could fight a Danny Jacobs and then the Adames fight because Adames has an interim title. But what do you think about Charlo and just, any aspect of that?
Well, Charlo been away from the sport off for, I think, outside reasons. So long as he come back mentally prepared, Charlo go do pretty good. It just come back on where his mind at and mentally. Is he mentally ready? Is he mentally ready to be in a fight for Adams? Oh no, his name. How you say his last name? Adames.
Yes, sir.
Adames. I just watched that guy. He has a lot of things to offset Charlo, but Charlo got a real good jab. I don't honestly no. I see Charlo beating him. I see Charlo beating Adames, even with his style. I think he keep his hand down too long. I think Charlo will keep resetting with that jab, that stiff hard jab.
What do you think about the comparison though? Because Adames stopped Montiel, and Charlo kind of went to war with him a little bit. It was a tougher fight.
Montiel. I gotta go back and look. Gotta go back and look at that fight. But sure. You gotta remember, Adames just fought Montiel.
Yeah, when that was after Charlo, sure.
All right, sure. After, I mean, I don't know how many fights Montiel had after Charlo had a fight, but people take wear and tear. That's different. True. And like I say, it just is basically mentally. It's a mental sport. If you keep taking beatings and losses mentally, that sticks with you. You know what I'm saying? So like, you gotta look at it like this. I don't know where Montiel was at in this point in his career when Adames got to him. So like, a lot of people try to compare fights and styles off of that because this person did this to this person. But let's look at it how long it took for this person to get to him. So of course, if he's been softened up, and I'm not saying Charlo softened him up, but I'm just saying basically he probably was in the same fighter that when Charlo fought him.
Natural wear and tear. It's natural.
Exactly. So I'm looking at Adames and Charlo will be a good fight. I think Adames has the skill set to give Charlo a good fight. But long as Charlo Maul come back mentally prepared, I think he go beat Adames. Might even stop him. But knock him down a few times.
And that will be impressive. I think the type of return we need to see, not to put pressure on them. But again, as fans, I think at least for me, I love what they do, both them brothers. And I want to see him return. I want to see him winning. Plus, I'd like to see what the potential is if he wants to move out of the division and perhaps contend against one of these guys I'm getting ready to talk about. Because we got Plant Benavidez coming up as well. Another fight we've been waiting a long ass time for. And we finally got it. Benavidez is talking about stopping Plant. We already know the shenanigans. It's real bad blood between these guys. What do you think about that fight, brother?
I think I saw that press conference, one of them, I think. I disagree with how Benavidez's dad was being disrespectful to Plant. At the end of the day, Plant is a respectable fighter. He went through the same things that Benavidez Sr. went through with his son. So, he's the coach. You know, like I'm saying, me personally, maybe because I look at it like I don't think I get to a point of calling somebody a fighter a bitch or this being disrespectful like that. Besides that point, I like everything about the press conference. I like the fight, but I just think Benavidez Senior was out of pocket for that. But the fight, I like Caleb Plant. He's a real good fighter. I like how he fights. But my question to Caleb Plant is, if he struggled with a Canelo, and I guess I'm being hypocritical, I just trying to compare another fight. But I think he struggled with Canelo pressure, and Canelo is a smaller man, and he don't throw a lot of punches like a Benavidez. I think I think he's going to struggle with Benavidez pressure and his volume of punches.
Let
So
me
I see Caleb Plant getting tired. I see him being in a fight in the beginning, but I see him getting tired from constantly moving instead of coming towards Benavidez. Like I would have him come towards him. You got to come towards somebody like that and keep turning them. But if you constantly moving off of everything Benavidez doing, you're gonna eventually get tired. So I mean, I think eventually, I think Benavidez is gonna stop Caleb Plant.
oh, and because I was going to ask you, I wanted to know. For me, I think it would come down because my question was or is Benavidez' feet. I think the punches, the volume, and the speed come from his hands, and he don't always turn them over. And my question was, if he's out of step and Plant is able to move on him, touch him and move, there may be a question of getting tired or not. But I think Benavidez might be slower than Canelo, and and Plant might be able to move, touch him. I thought that Plant might have some power that not could hurt Benavidez, but make him think twice about coming forward a little bit. Is there any truth to that, or am I?
Yeah, there is truth to that, and I think Caleb Plant can do that. But based off on what I've seen, is Caleb Plant going to do that consistently? So,
That's
like, because you do like with a pressure fighter like Benavidez, you have to counter him, you have to frustrate him, you have to pick shots at him. But is Caleb Plant out of? Is he going to be too defensive?
mm,
Or he's gonna be countering. I think Caleb Plant is gonna fall back to where he's comfortable in being defensive. Where some shots he's supposed to be countering, but then he just pulling back, he just pulling back, just pulling back. So you get in a habit of doing that, and sometimes you don't even know you're doing it, but the other person is making you do it.
mm.
So that's the thing. That's what I don't see with Caleb Plant. I think Caleb Plant is going to reset back to he's not going to capitalize on those counters when he's supposed to. And like I say, also going forward, I think he got to go forward sometimes, lock up with Benavidez to turn him, make him go backwards. Because I don't think Benavidez is not a fight going backwards as well.
And this,
So
mhm.
thing about I think Canelo he might be more explosive than Benavidez, but volume, he don't have a volume. Canelo is very explosive and quick with his punches, but Benavidez throws volume. He has fast hands for a big guy, and he's a big guy, so that's a lot of weight in his hand speed and how he throw his volume. People forget about how his feet is, because if you got punches coming at you, when you're looking down at his feet, the
Sure.
coach might be looking down at his feet, but Caleb Plant ain't gonna have time to be looking at his feet. So that's the only thing about it. I just think he a big dude, and he go close the gap quicker than Wade and Canelo was doing against Caleb Plant.
We got to meet up to talk about that one, man. I don't know if I'm pulling for Plant or I'm just but
I like.
now you good.
Yo, can you hear me?
Yep, loud and clear.
Yeah, my bad. I had a call. I like Plant. I like his style. You know, I got a lot of respect for Plant. I like how he move in the sport as well, but I just don't see. I gave a breakdown. I can see how Caleb Plant can win. I just don't see him doing it. I don't see him doing it. Like I don't see him capitalizing those moments that he have to beat Benavidez. I just see Benavidez getting his way majority of the time, but those things have to happen for him to beat Benavidez.
Well, you know what? We're going to keep it in the Benavidez camp. And I'm going to start off by saying Jose Benavidez Sr., he's winning because Jose Benavidez Jr. was in Creed 3. Okay, he's got his son David Benavidez in a very big fight, right?
Mm-hmm.
And one of his other young charges, Diego Pacheco, just he was blessed his way into a main event over in the UK against Jack Cullen. Now he is also a super middleweight fighter, kind of the same type as David, but a
I
different
was about
type
to
of
say that.
fighter. Let's talk about it. Give me your opinion on Diego Pacheco.
Uh, I just watched their fights. I watched both of them. They both long. Cullen might be a little longer than Pacheco based off the size, but everybody look tall in the ring when it's close up like that. But you could tell that those guys are real tall. So I see when we go to the comparing those two styles, it's gonna be an action-packed fight. But I can see Pacheco beating Cullen.
Yeah, yeah.
I just see him getting underneath Cullen, hitting him with certain stuff, catching them, catching the windows open, catching them with some hard shots. Action packed fight, like I said, it's gonna be a crowd pleaser, but I see Pacheco putting better shots in on Cullen, and I can see him getting stopped. I
No,
can see that. I can see that fight. I can see Pacheco stopping Cullen.
No, people tune into that one. This is a guy on the rise that you're gonna want to see. Don't be late to the party, all right? That's happening this weekend. And before we get out of here, we got another big fight I want to get your opinion on. This is the weekend for Tony Harrison versus Tim Tszyu. We know Jermell Charlo was slated to fight Tim Tszyu. Something
Mm-hmm.
happened along the way. Now we got Tony Harrison playing underdog in Australia against the legacy fighter Tim Tszyu. Give me your opinion on this one.
I agree with Tony Harrison. He made a comment saying like you could go to any gym and find a Tim Tszyu style in it. But the thing about that is Tim Tszyu just got it to the next level where he's fighting at the elite level, and he brought that style and made it his style. So I don't think that's gonna be a hard fight. But this is the question with Tony Harrison, because every fight I think he was losing, he lost. He was winning at the time, but I think fatigue, got tired. I think he gassed out. One of those two mentally, or mentally checked out, because that, like I say, that mental is everything in a fight. You know what I'm saying? So
Mm-hmm.
like, I have Tony Harrison winning that fight, but once again, the disadvantage is he's going to Australia, and I can see where Tony Harrison will outbox Tim Tszyu like clearly, because to me he's the better boxer. Even when he fought Jermell, he was a better fighter, better boxer. Jermell
Yes.
was the better fighter, but I just thought Tony Harrison was the better boxer when they were in the ring. But not to take nothing away from when he beat Jermell, and then Jermell. Actually, I thought he lost that first fight, because I went back and watched. I thought they robbed Jermell. I still after I watched it the second time, I still didn't give it to Tony Harrison. But I see where he was boxing, but I still gave it to Jermell. So, but what's crazy, the second fight, Tony Harrison,
He was up.
I thought he was winning, but they had Jermell winning, and then eventually what happened,
Yeah.
because that was kind of that was kind of mind-boggling to me, because like like I said, I had Tony Harrison winning the second fight, but he was still losing it. But I thought he was doing better in that fight. Like he was stepping on Jermell. So, but I wouldn't mind seeing Jermell and Tony Harrison on 3, because it was exciting at the conference, press conference. They was talking smack back and forth. But he has to get past Tim Tszyu, and it's a possibility he can. Mentally, I think if he comes in shape mentally, he will outbox Tim Tszyu. Easy, easy. But once again, he has to cross that bridge when he crosses it, because I think he's been stumbling when he get tired and fatigued, and I think that's when he make a lot of his mistakes. So if he correct that mistake, running more, whatever it is, dealing with whatever he had to deal with, I think he's gonna beat Tim Tszyu.
No, definitely. I'm leaning definitely towards Harrison. I'm not really concerned about Tim Tszyu's power. He reminds me of a taller Danny Garcia, and I say that both respectfully, but also with to the point of a flat-footed fighter trying to catch you with a left hook.
Right.
You know, so in that regard, I think Harrison's just too slick, too skilled of a technician to get caught by that, unless, like you said, he ain't paying attention and he get caught by that.
He get tired. And that's the only thing about Tim Tszyu. Because like I said, Tim Tszyu got to where he at because he off of his skill level. I don't know too much about his dad. I heard people talking about his dad was a good fighter. But that's another thing. If Harrison get tired, fatigued, check out mentally, yeah, Tim Tszyu is going to catch him. He's going to walk. He's going to get to him. He's going to get to him. But if he don't get tired, I just see it being a hard night for Tim Tszyu.
Yeah, and maybe a lesson that he will learn from in the future. But this was a great show, my brother.
Hold on, I want to touch more. I know we was talking about fights, but I want to promote my sons a little more.
No, that's what I was going with it. I want you to tell everybody about the gym and give your social media and how everybody can follow you guys.
Okay, well, first y'all can follow me on Macon, MACON_boxing. Basically, we a small gym. I do everything out of the garage. I turn my whole garage to a gym. And on Tuesday and Thursdays, that's mainly when we go out, do our sparring. And Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays, we do a lot of stuff at the house. We do conditioning. I condition my sons. We do drills, all that, everything. And I'm just, my son's been boxing like 2 years and a few months now. Well, 3 years will be November for us. So I try to break it down like every 3 months. I break it down like every 3 months, like an evaluation to see where they moving at. I know it's a marathon, not a sprint race. Well, I try to evaluate to see, all right, they picking this up, because we always working on something new in a certain style. Like I say, conditioning ain't gonna never be an issue because we condition. They stay in condition. Like every gym we go to, they in shape. We might be giving the most rounds. We the last ones to lead the gym. We the last ones to get out the ring. We the ones always asking for more work. And I look at that as an advantage in the ring. When you in condition, you in shape. And I know we only fight 3 rounds, but sometimes when we be sparring these long rounds with these kids, they can't go them rounds. So let's just imagine if it was a longer fight, we would wear them kids out. They get tired, but we go back and forth. We got some good gyms down here. We go back and forth with some kids. Some kids been doing it longer than them. And that's what's crazy to me. They got a lot of kids that's been boxing longer than them. And my sons is on the same level as them, are better than them, So I'm proud of what they're doing. Like one of my sons won nationals, silver gloves. We've been to USA nationals this last December. They both ranked number 3 in the nation right now at their weights, one at 95, one at 70 pounds.
Beautiful.
And I'm proud of them, man. And I have a little 6-year-old, man. He gonna be a killer. He about to be 7.
That's the mighty Titan. Yeah.
Yeah, that's Titan. He be touching up 8, 9, 10-year-olds, certain 10-year-olds and stuff like that. That's close to his size. He be touching them up. And he only 6, man. So I can't wait till he start his little journey at 8, and he still got a whole nother year. So I'm gonna keep training him, I'm gonna get him better. So as advantage wise, my other 2 sons started at 9, they're 11. They both 11. So Titan got the advantage because he started at 4 and he haven't competed yet. See, they started competing after 3 months. So
we got
condition wise, they were ready, but experience. Go ahead. What you say?
We got about 30 seconds left, champ. I just want to make sure he gonna be back, ladies and gentlemen. Trust me. Check in with him, check in with me. That's Macon_boxing on Instagram.